How did you decide upon 80 megawatt generating capacity? What were the economic reasons behind that number? And do you have a minimum that you can go to before the project is no longer feasible?
Excellent question. I'm going to take a stab at this, and then Per can correct me if I get it wrong. But 80 megawatts was determined by a couple of different factors. One key one is this power line up here, this 115,000 volt Velco line, and 80 megawatts can be fed into that line without any significant upgrade. It has the capacity to take it. So that's one of the determining factors. It's kind of a design control condition. Another is, quite frankly, just the economies of scale. What could be generated within this area of ridge lines with a reasonable separation, because you don't want them too close, they shadow each other, but with a reasonable separation. The plan here is about 1,200 feet between turbines, and given a standard size turbine, what could you actually produce with various different sizes and numbers, which we already went over. So, but as Per pointed out, one of the risk money on this, the real risk money, is being spent right now, because there is no permit, and until a permit, certificate of public good, is issued, you don't have a project, you don't have income, you don't have, all you have is a dream, an idea. And it costs in Vermont a lot of money, because Vermont has very high standards, and it's very, very demanding, and it's time consuming. So it's expensive to do that in Vermont. And there's a project in Georgia, Vermont, which has five turbines. And we expect that, and they are in the Public Service Board process right now, we expect that when they're done, they'll probably spend about the same amount of money that this project will to go to that point of getting an answer from the Public Service Board. So just from a standpoint of return on investment, the bigger, the better.
So there is no number, magic number.
Well,
I think that's...
there is. The other question was, okay, 80 is what you want. What can you live with, basically? And the answer to that is we don't know yet, because we don't know all the engineering questions. How many actually sites are buildable? How expensive are the roads going to be? One of the issues with the Tranbrook Ridge was the road to get in there was looking to be, the engineers were looking at it and sort of like, wait a minute, this is going to get horrendous. So that was one of the things that tipped the balance there. So until you get away from this $2 million per megawatt installed rule of thumb, this is what it's going to cost to do it, and actually get real numbers based on actual plans and actual stuff, there's no way for us to know how far down below the 80 megawatts and that it can be done and still be a worthwhile project. Can it go below 80? Probably. How far below? We don't know yet.